Welcome to Pop Cult, where we talk reality TV, celebrity chaos, and pop culture throwbacks.
How to win brew madness and win a Ford Bronco with 7 Brew.
What is that?
I don't even know, but I want to win one, and I go to 7 Brew an embarrassingly amount of times for how far away I live from it.
I was gonna say, it wouldn't be embarrassing just because of, like, if I lived near 7 Brew, I would go every day. But like,
But the thing is, I don't even live near 7 Brew.
You live really far away.
And I literally had it today.
I got a cool. What did you get?
I got the amaretto. It's like, I can't remember. It's like almond, blackberry, and cherry, I think.
Yeah, that would make sense. I think that's what amaretto is. I got a cool sips the other day.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was like 45 degrees on Saturday, so it was warm. And I was like, I need a little soda, and I was like walking right by it. It was when I tried to go to Trader Joe's, and the line to get into the grocery store was around the block.
That's crazy.
Not even like a checkout line.
Today is cold here, but then it's gonna be in the 80s for the next 10 days.
Oh my god, I don't even want it to be in the 80s. I just wish it was like above freezing.
Yeah, that's fair. That's really fair.
Anyway,
welcome to Pop Cult. We're your hosts. I'm Julia.
And I am Avery.
And we post 2 episodes every single week. Tuesdays are for our reality digest and Thursdays are for our fame files. Our reality digest, we go over all of last week's reality TV chaos. And our fame files, we go over past pop culture events like we're doing today. A very exciting one. I refuse to be a fan of this band that we're going to talk about during their era because I couldn't be a fan of anything that everybody else was a fan of because I had to be different. But post the band happening, I am now a large fan of the band's music.
Okay, so you were not a mainstream One Directioner.
I refused. I don't know what was wrong with me.
I kind of was the same way. Like, I didn't really. Okay, well, let me just.
Like, I never even gave them the time of day.
Right.
I was building up to it. I was building up to the.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'll back up. I kind of wasn't really a fan either. But honestly, it was more so just because I didn't really like their music.
Oh,
I didn't.
I wasn't
love
a fan.
That boy band sound.
I wouldn't even listen to their music. I didn't know what I was even missing because I refused to get on that train.
Yeah, but I was kind of the same with Justin Bieber too. Like, I wasn't really ever a fan of his music. Okay. So I feel like anything, like, I have a vivid memory of my mom saying to me at one point when I was probably in middle school, she goes, "Are you ever going to be a fan of anything that everyone else likes?" Like, I remember her saying something like that to me because I would be like, a new boy band or musician would come on the scene, and unless it was Taylor Swift, I was like, I'm good. Really, I'm not interested.
I'm great, thanks though.
Well, if you have not caught on up to this point, today we are talking about the shocking split of One Direction. For anyone who doesn't know who One Direction is, they were a British/Irish, actually, it's a combo, boy band, which was formed in the early 2010s via the music competition show X Factor. Sick. What do you know about all this?
I've seen the videos of, because I think they all auditioned individually and then were forced into this band when they didn't know each other. Yeah. By Simon?
Yes, Simon Cowell.
Yeah, so I know that. That's about it of what I know of their their beginning.
Yeah.
And then it was something insane. It was 5 albums in 4 years.
Yes.
Don't blame them for wanting to die.
No, yeah. It's funny though that they're such a big deal. Obviously, I feel like the majority of people know who One Direction is, but the fact that neither you or I really knew anything about them, that just seems insane because obviously we're tuned into pop culture, but yeah, not when they were popular, I guess.
It's also it was just a little blip. Yes. It was only 4 years.
That's true. And that's a good point. In the grand scheme of things, they really were not together for very long. But I think it just felt like they were because that was I don't know. I just feel like my middle school and high school years literally went by so slow. Now I feel like I just blink and the year is halfway through. But back then, I don't feel as though that was the case. And so I feel like it seemed like they were together for a lot longer. I also thought that they were a lot older now than they actually are. So that was kind of interesting to find out too. But we will jump into it. So like Julia said, they were formed on the X Factor, which is where they got their start in 2010, and there were 5 original members of this band. This is not in order, in any particular order. They were Niall Horan, Louis Tomlinson, Harry Styles, Liam Payne, and Zayn Malik. You were correct, they did audition individually, but they were not brought forward as individual singers, so the show decided to give them a shot as a band. And maybe you know the answer to this. I wondered, do you think they were like eliminated and then the producers came back and were like, wait? Or do you think they were like...
The auditions, like, what we see as, like, the quote-unquote auditions is not really the auditions. Like, I think it was, like,
Okay.
You audition with, like, the producers, like, off camera, and they're probably like, well, these guys could go as a band, and then they put them as a band together, I think.
Okay.
Or maybe they showed a one-off of one of them, and they didn't camera well. I don't know.
Okay, gotcha.
I have no idea.
I wondered if, like, they were like, okay, we're sending you home, bye, and then, like, called them up.
I don't know. I guess we could go ask them. I think we should do
Totally.
that.
I'll send one of them an email after this.
Yeah.
But I also wondered if they were like, okay, you're not moving forward individually, but if you guys want to move forward, we'll make you a band and then you can. Like, kind of almost an ultimatum.
Yeah.
S?
Yeah, probably. Was Fifth Harmony the same way?
I think so, actually. Lord, that one did not pan out the way that this one did.
No.
Maybe we'll do an episode on them. Okay, so it was Simon Cowell, who was technically the one on X Factor who paired the group together and who typically gets credit. But if I had to guess, the producers probably had something to do with that too.
Yeah, I doubt he was truly the front runner there.
No, they did not win X Factor, but I think I don't know who did, and so I just have to say I think probably what was to come for them was much greater than finding themselves as the winners of
X Factor.
I honestly feel like so many people from those shows like really don't go anywhere. It's kind of like they talk about this in the America's Next Top Model documentary. Like it's
more hindering than helpful.
Yeah, like it did a disservice, which is kind of crazy to think about.
I watched an episode and a half of the documentary, the Tyra Banks documentary, and I fell asleep.
Oh no. I will say it was not what I was expecting it to be.
Oh, I fell asleep and I didn't, and like obviously it finished on its own because I did not turn the TV off because I fell asleep. So I have to go back and find my spot.
It was depresso for sure.
Yeah.
Anywho, I would say that the One Direction members found what we would call overnight success. I'm sure for them it didn't feel that way, but they were like shot into the, like, I don't even know the word for it. Like they were just shot into fame so quickly.
Yeah.
They're like this group of, you know, either 18 plus, we'll say. I think they were maybe in like their very early 20s.
Wait, what year is this?
2010.
I was 8 years old.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Fans would label themselves based on their favorite member. Like, I'm a Harry girl, I'm a Zayn girl, whatever.
The amount of times I heard that, like in middle school, Jesus.
It was an insane fandom. Like, I actually would put it on the same level as like the Swifties, you know? We just didn't have social media back then, so it was a little bit different, but definitely like equivalent to Swifties in today's age and like Beliebers back then around this same time.
Beliebers.
Is that your new vocals, Tim?
Yeah, that's gonna happen for this.
You could find their posters on the walls of every tween girl's bedroom except for me and Julia, evidently.
I didn't have any posters ever in my room. I had a poster of the Cinderella movies. That was about it.
Oh my god, I had those too. Oh my god, we were Disney kids.
Oh
clearly.
No.
Their first hit song, you might be familiar with it, was titled What Makes You Beautiful, which was on their very first album.
Oh, trust, I'm familiar with that damn song. Never.
Yes.
It was never not being played.
Correct. Sometimes I still hear it, like if I'm ever somewhere where I'm like listening to the radio.
If I hear that,
rare. My god. People love to do that song at karaoke too.
They do.
You know?
And I'm like, you just don't sound good singing that.
It's like, guys. Anyway, this was on their very first album titled Up All Night, which topped American charts and spent 13 weeks in the top 10 of the Billboard Hot 100. In 2014, their tour was the highest grossing of that year, and they were kind of seen as like a little bit different from some of the past boy bands like NSYNC, Backstreet Boys. They didn't do the cringe synced up choreography.
And thank God for that. Nobody needed to see that.
Truly. Like, that's something that's best left in the past. Unless we're doing what's the word that I'm looking for? A reunion for some old groups that did do that. Another difference was that several of them were also heavily tattooed. Okay, so they must have been over 18 at this point. If that was the case.
I would assume they had all started when they were they not 18 when they started? Were they like 16? I just burped. Hold on.
They were in their early 20s, I think, when they disbanded.
Direction when they started. Also, who came up with the name? Like, what's that origin?
Good question. I'm guessing Simon Cowell did.
I was thinking Harry would be the oldest, but he's actually the youngest. Harry was 16. Niall and Zayn were 17. Liam 17. Louis 18.
Okay, cool. Well, so we'll say they started getting tattoos obviously once they were of age. I actually don't know what the laws are in the UK, so
I don't know.
They seem to have more lax laws about stuff like that. They did typically co-write their songs together, which was kind of interesting to me, and they were very active with interacting with their fan base, which I think is probably why they shot to fame so quickly. They would communicate through things like chat rooms, on Twitter, on Tumblr, if you can believe it. But beyond just being bandmates, they were also widely viewed as close friends. I feel like the two biggest stars, though, and you give me your take, were definitely Harry and Zayn.
Yeah, like in the band, when they were in their band. Yeah, for sure.
Like, they were the faves.
Yes, I agree with that. Typically you were either a Harry or a Zayn girl, and then if you weren't, you were one of the
Yeah, if you wanted to be different, then you were one of the other three. Harry was kind of like the lead guy of the band, like guy next door vibe. Zayn was more of the mysterious alternative type, which I do just think is interesting given like his career progression and everything. By 2014, they were the richest British/Irish boy band ever. And to your earlier point, by 2016, they had released 5 albums and done multiple world tours.
Jeez.
So, reminder, they started in 2010. That's 5 albums in 6 years, and probably toured at least 4 of those. They sold over 70 million albums worldwide and were the first band in US Billboard 200 history to have their first 4 albums debut at number 1. By the time they split, their combined net worth was 70 million pounds. I don't know what that is in USD.
I don't know what that is in US. Okay, so it actually is 94 million in USD.
In 2014, there started to be rumors flying that the band was going to break up because of a video that the tabloids had gotten a hold of. It was basically of Louis and Zayn smoking weed in a car. They were in Peru, like prior to performing a show, and it was also speculated that Louis had used a racial slur or some sort of offensive language, but I'm unsure about this detail. I couldn't verify it elsewhere, so I don't know if he did do that, and if he did, I'm not sure what he said.
I've never heard of this.
Yeah, I hadn't either. Allegedly, though, this is the part that makes me laugh. Allegedly, Harry was pissed at them because this happened the same week of the start of their UK stadium tour, and this scandal, I guess you could call it, was taking up headlines. So fans were freaking out that they were fighting and scared that they were going to break up. I just can't imagine that Harry Styles was that pissed off that his bandmates were smoking weed.
No way. Like he didn't too. Don't be like that.
Right, that's what I feel like they're implying, is that he wasn't a party boy. Like I don't know. So that was kind of like a false alarm, I feel like. But when it really started to break down was Zayn, very out of nowhere, left the band in March of 2015, being the first member to branch out on his own, but the rest did remain together. He leaves the group to pursue a solo career, and also said that the environment was toxic and bad for his mental state. His official statement in 2015 when he left was, quote, "I am leaving because I want to be a normal 22-year-old who is able to relax and have some private time out of the spotlight. I know I have 4 friends for life in Louis, Liam, Harry, and Niall. I know they will continue to be the best band in the world." So it appears amicable at the start.
I think he had an eating disorder too.
I think I might I think I might mention something about that. Yeah, I think I do. None of them really commented anything negative at this point about his sort of abrupt exit. But in 2019, Liam did say, quote, "I think with Zayn's particular exit and the way he chose to go, we haven't really heard from him since he left. He didn't even say goodbye, if I'm being honest. It was really a sordid scenario from our side, certainly. It's a bit strange. It's difficult." So clearly there was more going on, but we're gonna come back to that. We're gonna circle back. Put a pin in it. After Zayn left, the band did continue to play shows, even though he also had left in the middle of a world tour.
Oh, okay.
Seemingly without warning. It was the On the Road Again tour in October of 2015.
Imagine like only going for Zayn and then Zayn's just like not there.
Oh my god, I'm sure that happened to so many people. Don't you think?
I don't know.
I feel like it probably did. If there's any Directioners listening, let us
me
know.
know.
The remaining members actually released their 5th album after he had left. It was called Made in the AM in November of 2015, and they also released 2 more singles. So I wonder if there was like a shift in their music after he left, or he kind of says some things about their music. So I would guess not, but I did think that was interesting that there is a One Direction album out there without Zayn on it.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Hey, it has like 2 of my favorite One Direction songs on it.
Oh. That's good.
If you're curious, it's Drag Me Down and Olivia. Love those.
I think I know both of those actually. I think I do know Olivia. That's a good song. Yeah.
It's a good song. And then Drag Me Down has like Harry Styles like screaming down. It's good.
I feel like I remember that. I'm going to go listen after this. They did not tour this album, fun fact, because by the end of 2015, it was reported that all 5 members of One Direction had decided to take a break from the band. So what was left, I guess, which would be 4 of them, decided we're also going to take a break.
Yeah.
Allegedly, they decided not to renew their recording contract, so that was why they were taking a break. In like August of 2015, they basically said that they were going to take an extended hiatus starting in March 2016. About 6 months before they were going to take a hiatus, that's when they announced it. But like I said, it was just considered a break at that point, so people were hopeful that they would eventually come back together.
Yikes.
Simon Cowell spoke on everything in March of 2016, saying, "I don't know if it's a hiatus or a breakup. To be honest, in a weird way, I don't want to know. I don't think they've had enough time to experience what it's like not being in the group to really answer that."
Oh, Kurt.
Do with you what you will with that information. They continued to make appearances and perform together up until their very last performance, unknowingly to the poor little fans, on December 31st, 2015 at Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve.
Dang, imagine being there.
I know. And like, you just never know that that's going to be your band's last time playing together. It's just crazy. Unfortunately, by January of 2016, they announced that they were fully disbanding and announced that the hiatus would be permanent.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. The main reason was that they really just wanted to focus on their individual careers, which is understandable. But the fans were devastated. Like, this was massive news, if you can believe it.
Yeah, I can only imagine how. Like as a fan, if Taylor Swift had like disbanded, that would have been horrible.
I mean, I feel like I remember girls crying at school when this news broke.
It was really bad.
Which is very dramatic. Like, let us be clear, we're not saying that
no,
that was a valid reaction.
That was people's worlds. That's, I don't know, I guess music is a big part of, for me, I love listening to music, so like, it would have been sad to know that my favorite band wasn't going to come out with anything anymore.
No, totally.
And then to
that would
also
be very
think
sad.
that like they don't like each other would be another factor, and like it really shatters your little world.
Which, honestly, now that we have an adult lens on it, I have a hard time believing that any band has ever really gotten along.
No way.
Which is sad to think about.
Well, it's like it's your coworkers. You're not gonna get along with every single one of your coworkers.
Lord knows that's the truth.
Yeah. Well, it's like the same way with people finding out like the cast of a show doesn't get along. That's their coworkers. You really expect them to get along? So true, like Gossip Girl. Yeah.
People were comparing their split to that of the Rolling Stones at this time.
Okay.
Which, look, sometimes I mean, you have to have...
I don't know if I know who the Rolling Stones.
Oh, well, they were a band.
I thought it was a magazine.
Well, it is a band. It is a magazine also. I think they were abandoned.
Okay.
Maybe like the 60s. Our parents are gonna roast us for that one. Anyway,
Well, they can get over it. I was not alive, and neither were they.
and clearly the band broke up, so they probably broke up before we were even born.
Yeah. Maybe I know some of their music.
And also, I think when people make fun of like, making comparisons to things, that it's like you have to compare it to something, you know, like not the shock of the Rolling Stones breaking up doesn't live in perpetuity as the most shocking band breakup for the rest of eternity.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually think it might have been One Direction. So valid. I feel like they low key blindsided everyone because they literally announced the new album in September of 2015 and it came out November 13th. So then it just seems weird that like 2 months after that they'd be like, oh, we're gonna take a permanent break. Like, nice knowing ya. But I will say, they're lucky that all of them basically continued making music. It's not like there was a lack of music from really any of them out there.
None of them. They all have individual careers.
Exactly. Something obviously went down between the two announcements, though, because some of them did speak on the hiatus when they first announced it before they announced the breakup. Niall Horan said once, quote, "We're not breaking up. We're literally taking time out to see our friends and see our family and reflect on what we've done over the past years," which is fair.
Yeah, I'm curious if he just said that though to get people off his back because he knew they were gonna make an real announcement about it later.
That's a good point. That's a good question. At the time, Harry was 21 years old. Louis and Liam were both 23. Niall was 21 and Zayn was 22, just for some context there. In February 2017, won a Brit Award for Video of the Year. I'm not sure what song it was, but Liam and Louis were the only ones there to accept the award on behalf of a band that no longer existed.
Well, I think they stayed the closest post-band breakup.
Yeah, I do think they were close. After they broke up, they all kind of pursued solo careers, with Harry, Zayn, and Niall being probably the most successful. That's not to say that Louis and Liam didn't find success. I just think maybe they took a step away from the limelight. And I think that there's something to be said for maybe the two of them found more success in the UK. Like, I don't think that they
Or like the US. They didn't have as much. Okay.
Exactly. I think, sometimes we forget, obviously, because they were such a big part of like American music, but they are not American. And so they have a fan base, in the countries where they're all from. Yeah. But Zayn was the first to release a solo album in 2017. Harry was the next after him to officially announce his solo career in February, the year prior. And then he also starred in the movie Dunkirk.
I love that movie.
I've never seen it.
I don't know if you like war movies, but it's Christopher Nolan and it's Cillian Murphy and Harry Styles is in it. And I just thought it was a really good movie. I'm a big fan of that one and 1917. Love those two movies.
Okay. Maybe I'll watch it this weekend. Louis also announced his solo career in 2016, and Liam had been doing some solo work before the band had even split, to my knowledge. But by May of 2017, they had all released at least one single on their own.
Oh, okay. So really quick. How did they all find new places to go? I guess because they were successful. I don't know.
I doubt they had any problem finding a representation.
It's just so quick. I don't know.
No, it definitely is. There was never any serious speculation that they would get back together, but there was an anniversary website created to promote their 10-year their 10-year anniversary of a band. I don't think they'll ever get back together.
Like, leave them alone? I don't know. They've been through enough, even more so in the past couple of years. Like, just leave them alone.
Despite even what you're referencing, which we'll get to, I think that there's been a good amount of beef between some of them that I just don't think that they ever would have done that in the first place, which we're about to talk about. Because there was definitely a lot more going on behind the scenes, especially with Zayn leaving, than any of them were letting on. Zayn, to me, based on the research that I did, it's hard to do research on these things sometimes because a lot of it did go down on social media or was like speculation, and so some of it is not super well documented, but I think I did a pretty good job compiling it. To me, it seems like Zayn really seemed to have beef with like all of them except for maybe Niall.
Niall's got no drama.
I was gonna say, he feels very neutral. Neutral Niall. He originally just said overarching stress was his reason for leaving, and of course his solo career as well. He has spoken on developing a lot of resentment while he was in One Direction. They're basically saying that like their maturity due to becoming famous so young and everybody wanting to kind of branch off and start solo careers created enormous feelings of competition and jealousy between them. At one point he said, quote, "We resented each other to a certain degree because we were solo artists that were put in a band and we should have never felt that way."
I mean, that's fair.
That is exactly what happened. In 2016, Zayn released a book. I know how much you love a celebrity memoir.
Oh my god. Okay.
So funny. He talked about his anxiety and, as you mentioned earlier, his eating disorder while he was in the band. I didn't find a ton of detail on that, but I mean that's obviously like a very unique perspective. He also publicly dissed the music that they made, saying that it's not the type of music that he would listen to, and he also called it generic as fuck. His words, not mine.
So mean.
I know.
Like I feel the same way about anybody like with Robert Pattinson hating Twilight. Like that's so mean. That's like started your career.
It's that age-old saying, like, don't bite the hand that feeds you.
Yeah. And anyone who hates Disney and they grew up like on Disney, I'm like, I understand, like, you might have gone through a lot, but like, jeez.
I know. Like, I guess have respect for the other people that were in it with you at the same level, that were your peers, is how I feel about it. He did talk about how his ideas were always shot down because they were too different, apparently, from what management wanted from them. He also said that he honestly never really wanted to be in the band in the first place, and that he felt it was forced on him.
Okay, well, newsflash, you could have said no.
Well, that's the thing. You did have a choice. Also, I mean, let's not act like 5 years of your life is eternity. Like, you branched off, you started your solo career. I don't really think we need to be making comments like that. And neither did Louis, because he said once about Zayn's comments, quote, "desperate attempt to try and get cool points."
Oh.
Which I think he's probably... I think he's right to it. Do I think that Zayn was going into it with that mindset? No. Do I think that's how it comes across? Yes. But that is not the end of Louis and Zayn's feud, because theirs actually dates back all the way to 2015, starting in May, which was just a couple of months after Zayn left the band. Basically, this is like kind of you know what this particular instance reminds me of is Taylor Swift, Scooter Braun, Justin Bieber, Kanye West situation, like the social media of it all.
Yeah.
Basically, some music producer, I don't know who this person was, posted a picture on Twitter with Zayn and captioned it, replace this. Like, you're never going to be able to replace him, basically. That's what they're saying.
But no one replaced him.
Right. I think that was the point.
Okay, sure.
It was definitely like a low-key dig, for sure. But, and I think that there's an argument to be made for that it wasn't even a dig at all. One characteristic of this post was that they had on one of those like horrible old like Instagram filters that were just insane, you know, when Instagram first came out. Like, you just put the worst filters on your pictures. Gen Alpha will never understand. So Louis tweets, quote, "Remember when you were 12 and you used to think those Mac filters for your pictures were cool? Haha, some people do that. Still do that. Ha." Anyways. And then he replied to the producer's tweet saying, "Jesus, forgot you were such an in-demand producer. How does it feel to be riding on the back of someone else's career?"
Good lord.
And then Zayn responds to that tweet and says, "Remember when you had a life and stopped making bitchy comments about mine?"
Damn. I guess they really don't like each other.
No. And then Zayn revealed in January of 2016 that he had not even met Louis' recently born son because they were not even on speaking terms.
How kind. Why would you admit that?
I know.
That's
just like months after this, he admits like, "I haven't even met his son because we don't like each other." In 2017, Louis, I'm not sure on what forum, but allegedly he did mention that they had kind of squashed things until 2019, when he did a podcast interview where he revealed that the real reason that he and Zayn had fallen out so badly is because when Louis' mother died, which I'll mention that in more detail in just a bit, but Louis lost his mother at he and his mother both were very young, and Zayn had promised to be at a tribute performance that Louis was doing in honor of his mom on X Factor in 2016, and he didn't show up.
What an asshole. No.
The other 3 guys did.
Good. As they should.
Yeah, that's bad. I mean, seriously. And I'm sure it was in LA, and I'm sure Zayn lives in LA. Or at the time, at least.
Yeah.
As of 2022, they didn't even have each other's phone numbers, supposedly.
Okay.
Zayn has talked about before feeling like he was the loner amongst the band. Not necessarily that he...
The self-proclaimed loner.
It's giving Jughead from Riverdale.
Wait, what is it? He's like,
I'm a weirdo.
I'm weird.
Why do you think I wear this stupid hat or something like that?
Because I'm weird.
Because I'm weird. Oh my god. But he said specifically, quote, I have always been a bit like that though. Always a bit of an island. I don't like to confer with too many people. We went from theaters to arenas to stadiums. There was never any sort of bridge between. Just boom, boom, boom. I guess that kind of progression to any mind, especially when you're 17, 18, it affects you. It kind of affects you a little bit. People take it different ways, especially when there are 5 different personalities. The relationships had broken apart. I feel like whoever was managing them should have gotten them some sort of like liaison, like to go in between each other when they were having issues like this while they were still in the band.
I agree. Or like a lawyer.
They should have had, or it's just like a therapist. Like I feel like they should have had some sort of like psychological professional. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
Obviously, Zayn and Harry are not close either, and seemingly never were. There's speculation that, I feel like this has always been kind of a little rumor that people perpetuate, that maybe Zayn is a little bit jealous of Harry because of Harry's success, obviously, since the band, and we of course know he's one of the biggest artists in the world at this point. But he said about it once, to be honest, I never really spoke to Harry, even when I was in the band, so I didn't really expect that much of a relationship with him when I left, and I haven't had one, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
I just feel like it's sad. Like I feel like it's sad for him. Like that's how do you have no interest in having friendships with somebody that you basically created your life success with? In response to some of Zayn's less than flattering comments about the band, Harry has said, quote, I think it's a shame he felt that way, but I never wish anything but luck to anyone doing what they love. If you're not enjoying something and need to do something else, you absolutely should do that. I'm glad he's doing what he likes, and good luck to him.
Okay. Much nicer quotes from Harry.
Totally. I feel like that's a very Harry Styles response. He's pretty good at staying out of the drama, despite that little stint being Taylor Swift's boyfriend.
Hey, they're out of the woods, so don't worry about it.
Thank God. A couple years later, in May of 2022, Liam actually did an interview on Logan Paul's podcast.
Ew.
I know. Why does Logan Paul have a podcast?
Why is Logan Paul even mentioned?
Why is Logan Paul still in the stratosphere of pop culture? Anyway.
Both of them. I hate both of them.
Yeah, they're weird.
Not Liam. Logan Paul's brother, Jake.
No, yeah, Logan and Jake. Maybe we should do like...
No, I won't talk about them.
Okay. I was going to say like...
You can leave that in too. I won't do anything that has to do with them.
I was going to say like a snarky episode about them, but we don't have to. I don't really want to research
them. It actually makes me like, ugh. No.
Yeah, I don't really want to research them either. Anyway, so Liam goes on his podcast where he talks about his feud with Zayn and says, quote, there's many reasons why I dislike Zayn, and there's many reasons why I'll always be on his side, which is kind of confusing.
What?
So he's saying, like, I don't like I think he's kind of saying similar to what Harry's saying, like.
He's like, I just don't like Zayn, but I'm not going to, like, be a bitch.
Yeah, but, like, I'm not going to be a hater.
Okay.
Which is the way to be. He also said on this podcast, he told a story about one of his bandmates, he did not name who, an incident where they threw him up against a wall backstage, and people do think that it was Zayn, but I mean, like I said, he never said who it was, but I just thought that was kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I don't really know who else it would have been.
I know. I mean, I really can't see any, I don't know.
Like Niall seems way too nice, and then him and Louis were bestie boos, so that leaves Harry and Zayn.
Yeah, and I don't really think Harry and Liam had any major beef.
Not that I know of.
Yeah, so that's kind of crazy. He also attributed some of Zayn's behavior and, you know, maybe transgressions, if you will, to his upbringing. I don't really know in what context. I don't think that that's like the nicest thing to say about somebody.
No.
And he does say that he does not agree with a lot of Zayn's actions. So I don't know. Again, I don't know all the specifics there. I believe in the same interview, Liam said at one point, we had our differences throughout the whole experience with some things. I still think about some stuff that was said and done, and now I would do differently, but then that's all part of growing up. Being in One Direction was such a schoolyard mentality somehow, the One Direction University, I call it. Everyone has stuff they've set up parties that they wish they hadn't, but for us, the difference was that it was all happening in front of the world.
They were basically together for like a college, like 4 years, like the
That's true.
college life. Yeah.
It was their college experience. At this point, he was no longer in touch with any of the band members. Okay, so that's kind of like Zayn's main beef. There was also like, I wouldn't call this beef, but I do think that it affected the relationship between Harry and Louis, because at one point, I don't know if you knew this, but there were rumors that Harry and Louis might be romantically involved.
I feel like I've seen that, but I don't know why I thought it was. Oh yeah, it was Louis. I don't know why I was thinking it was Liam for a second.
It was definitely Louis, but I thought this was strange. I don't think Harry has ever really spoken on the rumors, but Louis has, and he obviously debunks them. He's like, these are made up out of thin air. Like, I literally have a child, and both of us were dating people. And both of them, not that obviously, like, people can be gay and have kids. Like, so, like, I know that sometimes people come out later in life, but he's like, both of us dated women, like, all throughout the time of the band and beyond and everything. So he's like, I don't really appreciate the rumors. But the theory is that it even went as far as Simon Cowell and their management like covering it up. So I don't know how those got started. I honestly wonder if it was because I feel like a lot of people used to talk about maybe Harry being gay.
Yeah, I do think I've seen those.
So maybe that, I feel like that was always like something that I used to hear. Again, we weren't fans, so all of this was like in one ear and out the other. But Louis has said that these rumors were part of the reason that their friendship struggled, which is sad. He also said about their band relationship, quote, there's no politics or anything. Inevitably in a band, you're going to get some people who get on really well and some people who get on quite well. I have forever had a very, very high level of respect for Harry. He's great in this situation. He's great on stage. He's a great musician and artist. It's just one of those things that happens naturally in a band. Out of all of them, I think Louis seemed to have a pretty hard time with the band breakup. I really think that he was against it happening at first, but from what I read, he seemed to warm up to the idea as he saw that they could still all be successful in their solo careers. He has explicitly said that the breakup was not his choice, but that he's made peace with it and he actually doesn't regret it at all at this point. He also had some extremely sad things happen since the band breakup. He lost his mom and younger sister very close together to one another, and I feel like that really just like changes your perspective on everything. Zayn apparently did reach out to Louis when his mother died in 2016, but of course, I mentioned earlier what happened with the tribute show, and that's just really, to me, that would feel like an unforgivable situation, so I get it. Louis also started his own music label and actually released an album in 2020. He's also returned to the X Factor as a judge and mentor at some point.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I don't think that show exists anymore.
No, I don't think. I have no idea, but I don't think so.
It might exist in the UK, but there's definitely not a US version anymore. Both Louis and Zayn both have children now. Zayn and Gigi Hadid had their daughter in 2020, and Louis and his partner had their son in 2016.
Dang, that kid's like 10 years old.
Oh my god, that's crazy. He also had a kid so soon after the band broke up. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Also just not us casually name dropping Gigi Hadid. I feel like that's a celebrity relationship we need to do an episode on.
They're not together right now, are they?
No. And there was something that happened with like him and her mom. Will you write that down?
Yeah. I know what you're talking about, but I don't have
It was
any
like
context for
an
that.
alleged like physical altercation. Yeah. Something of the sort. Anyway.
What would I even put that under? Miscellaneous?
Yeah. Miscellaneous.
Miscellaneous.
Miscellaneous. Miscellaneous. You sounded like Sid the Sloth. Miscellaneous. Louis even at one point during his solo career had a sold out world tour.
Cute.
So good for him.
Miscellaneous. I'm sorry.
Miscellaneous.
I'm so laughing at the miscellaneous.
Oh Lord. Okay. As for Harry and Zayn, I would say that they have definitely had the most successful careers and continue to do so, especially in the US. Like I said, we're talking US here. Zayn had released 3 solo albums by 2021, and speaking of Taylor Swift, collabed with her on the song I Don't Want to Live Forever, which is
such a good song.
yeah, I feel like that's still a very like popular
I
song, to be
don't wanna
honest.
live forever.
Beautiful.
It's a good one.
Beautiful, beautiful. Niall, if you're listening to this, should Julia audition for The Voice? Um, Zayn lives in Pennsylvania, the last that I found, but he is currently doing a residency in Vegas. So I wonder what his
Okay.
what his status in Pennsylvania is. Did you know he was doing a residency?
No, I had no idea.
I didn't either.
Because the residency doesn't have, it's not like every night. It could be like literally once like a month, right?
I don't really know.
Okay. Because that's kind of what Harry's doing in the fall in New
I
York.
kind of think residencies are weird. Maybe it's just because I don't get them.
I don't know.
I don't know. He has won many awards, with a good chunk of them being British or general like European awards.
Mhm.
That's like a weird way to say that, but Europe has like obviously their own award shows. He is no longer with Gigi and they are co-parents. As for Harry, he won 3 Grammys in 2021 for his second solo album, Fine Line. Along with going on to win Grammys, he was also in the movie Don't Worry, Darling alongside Florence Pugh, as well as some other acting gigs. But
great movie.
So freaky, but yeah.
I liked it.
It was freaky though.
Yeah, of course it was freaky.
A psychological thrill. It was good though. And I love her. I think she's such a good actor. I mean, I kind of feel silly like going through Harry's accolades because like obviously he's like one of the most famous artists in the world in my opinion. He is, for those of you who don't know, like he's very well known. Like I would put him on the level of like Taylor Swift at this point. Like really.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like definitely. Not to say that Taylor Swift is like the pinnacle of all fame, but like I would say, you know, Harry Styles, Taylor Swift, Sabrina Carpenter, all these people are pretty much equals in the music industry in my opinion. A little bit more about him, and part of the reason why I think he's so famous, he's a fashion icon, obviously. You never know what he's going to step out in.
No, you
And
don't.
I also feel like there's always a lot about him in the media. I feel like he kind of blurs the lines of traditional gender norms, and that's kind of like his style, his speed, I guess you could say.
And he's dating Zoe Kravitz right now, isn't he?
Are they still dating?
I thought so.
Well, probably they are. I don't know.
Aiden.
I thought I saw something about them breaking up, but maybe not. He has won 6 Brit Awards, 3 Grammys, 3 AMAs, amongst others. That's just really scratching the surface. I'm sure he's won many more awards, but you all know how I feel about award shows. And I do think he is going on tour. Like,
Yeah,
is
he's
he
going
on
on
tour right now? Or he's doing the residency?
No, it has not started yet, but he's doing like Europe because
Okay.
I know someone going to see him in London, and then he's doing like 30 straight nights pretty much in New York at MSG.
Oh wow, okay.
And then LA and stuff too, but nowhere close to me, naturally.
Of course. I know.
And I also didn't even try to get tickets because I just knew it wasn't going to happen.
That's fair. We'll talk about the tickets a bit more in a second. Okay, Niall released his #1 album, Heartbreak Weather, in 2020, and he has been a judge on The Voice. Think he might have been in the most recent season, but I think there's one that's about to come out that he's not going to be in. He toured his 3rd solo album in 2024, and apparently he has a restaurant.
I didn't know that.
Me neither. I didn't write down too much about it because I was confused, but yeah, allegedly he does have a restaurant.
I feel like I've heard things about him owning like a bar, but maybe that's the same thing.
Yeah, probably. He actually just released a new single this year, like in January, I think.
Sick.
So.
Okay.
And actually, Louis did too. He also released an album this year.
Yeah, I just saw, because I looked at his Instagram a second ago, and that he has like a tour like soon.
Mm-hmm. Good for him. I'm happy for them. In recent years, they have reunited a bit, not for a happy occasion, fortunately. For those of you who don't know, or those of you that do, Liam unfortunately passed away in October of 2024. He was only 31 and he tragically died after falling off of the third floor of his hotel in Argentina.
Crazy.
So sad. I remember when I saw that news for the first time, I was like shocked because
No, like, how do you not be shocked by that? Like, that's
Yeah.
not something anyone was expecting.
I mean, he was just so young. It was so sad. It still is. He released music up until his death. After he passed away, there was some speculation that he had been having a really hard time since the band had broken up. I don't know if I believe that. I kind of just feel like I think he probably was struggling mentally and maybe struggling to handle the fame, but I'm not sure that it had anything to do with the band breaking up
And
specifically.
he has a kid, doesn't he? Yeah, he has a son named Bear.
Oh,
born
I didn't know
in
that.
2017.
Ugh, that's so awful. That makes me really sad for his son. I think some of the people close to him were kind of like worried about him, like maybe he did open up on social media in 2023, just about a year prior to his death, about having been struggling mentally and feeling like he had hit rock bottom. He had also been struggling with substance abuse, I think, and was really doing his best to live a sober life. It wouldn't be until 2024 at Liam's funeral that the other members of One Direction would reunite. They did all attend the funeral.
I was saying I didn't realize I knew that Harry was there because I remember seeing the pictures of him. Because you can't spot that man anymore, so when they see photographs of him, it goes crazy.
Yeah, I know. He's a sneaky one.
He's sneaky.
They did post a joint statement, I believe, on the One Direction Instagram, which I always wonder like who runs that.
Whoa.
You know?
There's a One Direction Instagram?
I think so. Will you make sure? Because I'm pretty sure that's where this statement I'm about to read was.
Yeah, I'm looking. Yep, there's a statement right here.
Yep, right there. So they posted a statement on the One Direction Instagram, which read, quote, "We're completely devastated by the news of Liam's passing. In time, and when everyone is able to, there will be more to say. But for now, we will take some time to grieve and process the loss of our brother, who we loved dearly. The memories we shared with him will be treasured forever. For now, our thoughts are with his family, his friends, and the fans who loved him alongside us. We will miss him terribly. We love you, Liam." It's so sad to think about one of the members from this boy band from the 2010s not being alive anymore. Like
I know.
it's just so it's so sad. So that's kind of what went on up until Liam's passing, and they kind of reunited at the funeral. In January of 2025, Louis was on tour, I think, or just either on tour or just doing a concert, and Zayn attended his concert in LA. And
That's
he
cute.
shouted him out, like he was like, my friend is here. Like, well, I'm sure that's not what he said, but something like that.
My friend is
My
here.
friend, oh God, hey guys. And in May of 2025, they started following each other on Instagram again. Like, I know that this seems like an arbitrary detail.
Hey, that's a big deal.
Yeah, like after everything that we just went through and that I took you through about their feud dating back to 2015, the fact that they're even cordial is pretty remarkable. And then in September 2025, so just a few months ago, Louis and Zayn were photographed in a fan picture together and people were freaking out.
Yeah.
But then in December 2025, there were reports that Zayn and Louis allegedly got into a bar fight with each
Over
other.
what?
Okay, so this is what I don't know, like how true this is. So take this part with a grain of salt. Allegedly, it was over the tribute scenario from 2016 where Zayn did not come to Louis' tribute show for his mom.
Well, okay. Valid fight.
Do we need to take it physical? No.
No.
So I wonder if they were just like at a bar drinking and
It
they
just got
started to talk
intense,
about it
yeah.
and then it like got heated. I also read some things where the two of them were maybe doing a Netflix reunion documentary of some sort.
What?
Maybe it was like they were doing some filming for that day and like this was the time in which the bar fight allegedly took place. But I did look up the Netflix reunion documentary and I saw that it was indefinitely on hold pretty much. So
Well, today Brittany Broski did, you know, those Royal Court YouTube things she does?
mhm.
Harry Styles is the guest.
Oh my God.
I'm
We're
gonna go
in
watch
tune.
this. Yeah.
She is funny. And to wrap it all up with a pretty little bow, because it wouldn't be the end of this episode if Zayn wasn't fighting with somebody, just at the end of January this year, 2026, Zayn took a shot at Harry's ticket prices for his upcoming tour. At one of his shows, so I guess Zayn is also on tour right now, or at least maybe he's still doing the residency. I don't really know. At one of his shows, he was like talking to the fans like on the mic and said, quote, "Hopefully the ticket prices weren't too high. Just saying."
Oh.
I don't really know a ton
Bruh.
about Harry's ticket price controversy, but like this is giving petty.
That's a little ridiculous.
Right? I think so. What do you know about the ticket stuff?
Nothing. I
Yeah.
really did not follow it closely because I just wasn't gonna try. He wasn't coming anywhere near me. I had to like fly to you, or I'd have to fly to LA, or I have to go
Yeah.
abroad. And I'm just like, I'm good.
Yeah, I heard, and I don't know how accurate any of this is. I heard that he had made the ticket prices are like really high, but then like was having trouble selling them or something.
I didn't hear
Like,
anything
his
about
ticket
that. I think
sales
the
were
thing is
down.
like completely sold out. I thought.
Oh, it probably is. I'm just, yeah, I don't know. That to me just feels like an unnecessary dig, and it's like I
Yeah, like
wanna
why do you need to do that? Like I thought, like just leave it good.
I know, like that's one of those things where there's Harry's ticket price controversies had nothing to do with Zayn.
No.
So it's confusing to me why he felt the need to speak on it. Like it'd be one thing if Harry was out here like, my tickets are more expensive than Zayn's, like my show's better, whatever. But he's not doing that. So I don't understand.
Lord knows.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think that that's giving drama, and like I really do want to empathize with Zayn. I even listened to Alex Cooper's first episode. I know she did one with him recently. I didn't get through the entirety of that one because I got
With
really
Zayn?
bored. Yeah,
Oh. I don't know if I've listened to that.
but she did one like a couple years ago, and she literally went to, because she's from Pennsylvania and he was living in Pennsylvania at least at the time. And so he like came to her parents' home, like her childhood home, and like did an interview with her.
Oh.
I have to say, like, listen to it, and it was interesting listening to it after like writing this episode. He's like very boring, unfortunately. I couldn't even get through the second episode that she did with him. Like, he's really not very interesting to like. He's very, I guess I shouldn't say he's not interesting. He's hard to get to have a conversation with. So I feel like she was
Okay.
struggling to like interview him because he's
He
very
won't like talk.
yeah, or just would give like super bare minimum or very odd answers to things. I don't know. So I like want to empathize with him. Do I think he's a bad person? No. But I do feel like as though he brings a lot of this on himself. Like if it weren't for some of the things that he put out into the public.
Yeah, if he wasn't being snidey about everything.
Yeah, and like if he hadn't have said some of the things that he said, none of these other feuds would have ever come to light.
If it isn't the consequences of your own action.
Right. I mean, that's a man for you, I guess. But that wraps up our Fame Files episode on the One Direction breakup.
Sick.
I know it was a lot about what happened after the breakup and stuff, but I feel as though it's relevant.
I agree. Yeah, I didn't know all the feuding. I kind of just was like, okay, they're broken up now. Maybe I'll listen to their music. And then I was like sick. And then I just didn't go beyond that.
Mhm.
Always been a big fan of Harry. I love his solo album.
Have you ever seen him in concert?
No. That would be great, though. I would love to.
It's funny that you wanted to listen to their music after they broke up.
Yeah, I was like, why not?
But not while they were together.
No, could care less. And it probably was like a good few years post breakup too. Because 2016, I would have been like a freshman. And I remember like vividly an image of my head. I'm cleaning my room and I'm in 10th grade listening to them.
I have a very vivid memory of me and one of my old friends from high school who I used to carpool with. We would blast the song Perfect over and over again in the car on the way to school.
And like Kiwi is one of my favorite songs ever, like hands down on earth. I love that song.
Is that Harry or is that?
Yeah, it's Harry.
Okay. He has a lot of fruit songs.
He does, but
Is
Kiwi
that like a
is so
thing?
freaking good. I don't know.
Like, I wonder why he does that. I mean, I love a Kiwi personally.
And then moral of the story with Niall Horan. Love that song.
Moral of the story.
Yeah. It's like
Okay.
a collab with Julia Michaels, I think. Don't quote me on that.
God, talk about somebody who really disappeared.
Did she?
I kind of feel like she did. Maybe I'm not looking in the right places.
Let's say I think she just released a single.
Did she win Artist of the Year at the Grammys?
This year?
Ever? No. Ever. Like in her past.
Not that I know
Maybe
of.
I'm thinking of Alessia Cara. She definitely did.
Yeah, I know who that is, but I have not seen her in a long time.
No, yeah, maybe that's who I'm thinking of that dropped off.
Oh my god, yeah, because my thing with Harry is you don't see her for months at a time. And he's off like running marathons, okay?
Harry?
Yes. And then people will randomly run into him on the street and he'll take a picture with them. And then he shows up like out of the blue at the Grammys to present the Best Artist Award, like the big one that he won, I think, when he did Fine Line. And he comes out in jeans.
Oh my god.
Did you see
Put
that?
on a slack.
Did you see that?
No.
The comments were like,
I'm gonna look it up.
when you're at a business meeting on Zoom or an interview on Zoom.
Me today. Oh, that's funny. Harry Styles Grammys.
Yeah, I just found him.
Why does he not have he literally looks like
Do you see it? Like the blazer.
What is he wearing? Why is he wearing sneakers?
I don't, but like, what's with the blazer?
He did not want to go.
I'm so confused.
Why would he wear that? Oh my gosh, that's horrific. And I'm over here saying that he's a fashion icon, and then he shows up in that to the Grammys. I feel like I've misled us all.
No, but he is. That was an off night for him. It was a last minute, maybe, I don't know.
I hope so. He also literally looks like he's getting arrested in this picture that I'm about to send you.
With his hands behind his back.
Yes. Why doesn't he look like he's about to get arrested?
His hand is behind his back in every single one of these photos that I'm looking at right now.
That's funny. You have to put that in your story post when this episode comes out.
Okay.
The rainbow jumpsuit, do you know what I'm talking about? Is sending me.
Yes.
It's like Argyle almost. That's crazy. Anyway, we'll wrap it up for the listener. Thanks for listening, everyone. We are back on Tuesday with Reality Digest as per usual. And next week's Fame Files is going to be about the Tiger Woods cheating scandal. And we have a special guest. My brother is joining us for the Tiger Woods episode. He has been an avid golfer his whole life, and Tiger Woods is like, I think, probably his favorite celebrity on the planet. And I remember when the news broke that he had cheated on his wife, my brother was like devastated. So we're gonna have him on to help us with some context, because neither Julia nor myself are golfers, so I had to text him to help me with some of the nuances of the episode. But everyone be nice to him.
Because we get so many hate comments.
No, because we get so many. Anyway,
mostly from our mothers.
Thanks for not. Yeah, literally. My mom will be like, no, this is what's gonna happen. My mom will be like, your brother was really good at that. He should start a podcast.
Oh my god. Or my mom, I was really good at that, so I think I should start a podcast.
Obsessed. We do love our family, so we're very close with them, just for anyone who's like, what's happening?
We're very close, I promise.
Yeah, we are. They wouldn't be on our podcast if we
weren't.
If we hated them, we'd be like, we wouldn't talk to them. Trust.
Well, I hope everybody has a good rest of your week, and you found something new to gossip about. Maybe you're gonna reminisce and go listen to some One Direction, get their ratings up so we can have a reunion.
True.
And yeah, go forth and gossip. Bye-bye.
Ta-ta!
Thank you so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and we will see you next week for more pop culture chaos. The stories we cover are based on research and publicly available sources. While we strive for accuracy, some details may be disputed or unverified, and this episode is for entertainment and informational purposes only.